我是一凡。今天呢，我们邀请到了一群人来介绍一下加拿大的游戏产业，它到底现在是什么状况。那我们现在就开始来问他问题。首先 ，the first question is introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Hugh. I'm currently a producer in the industry in Canada. I work at a mobile games company. I can't talk about the projects that I'm working on, but there are some big IPs that are well known across North America and the world. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing these days.
My name is Max Sakamoto. I am from Mexico. I finished working as a 3D artist in video games when I finished the project with Raptech Games. I started looking for another job, and as much as I love to keep working in the game industry right now, I'm still close to working with games. So I'm still 3D modeling, not for games though. I'm making more like house appliances. He's making chairs and he's making like key holders, and I'm modeling for him, and he pays me to optimize his objects to print it.
My name is Victor. I'm a 3D artist, mainly focused on environments, and that's it.
Hello, my name is Ryan, and I was a level designer for Kibble Game Studios. Hello everyone, my name is Kevin, and I am a 3D artist for Kibble Game. I've done 3D environments as well as texturing. That's pretty much where my fields are.
So the second question is about after graduating, do you think it's difficult to find a job in gaming industry Canada?
That's a good question. Definitely not the easiest job to get into, because usually there is a pretty hard barrier that you need to break in to get into the industry. But once you break that barrier, you do have much more broader options, and it'll be much easier for you to re-enter into different positions, jobs, etc., etc.
With my amount of experience, it was challenging. I wouldn't say it was easy. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of surfing the internet every day for checking for jobs. I just kept applying and improving my skills on the side, which is a very important part of it. You can't just be applying to jobs, you have to be improving your skills.
Yeah.
Exactly. Social media is there's a huge part of that in studios. It's how do we engage with our community? How do we keep them up to date with what we're doing, right? That's a huge part of what I do on a day-to-day basis, talking with the community team.
Overall, I don't think it's easy to find a job right now. The market is so competitive right now. You could have the best portfolio ever, but you need to be a person that knows people. You have to know the right people in order to get the job.
Yeah.
Because they are not going to hire an outsider, even though you can, you're the most amazing artist out there. But if they don't know you, or you don't have someone that refers you, they're going to pick the other people first that actually know some people in the industry. So at the end of the day, I think it's more about who you know than what you know.
Well, I'm kind of biased because I got a job after graduating. Unfortunately, it didn't last long because the gaming industry in Canada is currently going through some tough times, which a lot of people are getting laid off. I was unfortunately included on that. Besides that, I would say if you are Canadian, it's probably way easier. But if you're an immigrant, you probably should have some prior experience or something to show yourself more. Kind of be a little better than the average Canadian student if you want to get a job.
So after graduation, unfortunately, the gaming industry kind of rough patch. So finding a job in the current climate is very difficult, but it's just very important to stay committed to the job search. And what matters most is your connections and getting your foot in the door, even if it's not necessarily with the job that you want or like.
Do you think it's more difficult to find jobs for someone who is not Canadian?
Yes, definitely. It's harder. Yeah. There's two people with the same skills.
Yeah.
One requires a lot of paperwork and paying for their relocation to travel here, and one doesn't require anything. He can start work tomorrow. Who will they choose? Of course, they will choose the Canadian guy.
So some countries actually have some ways to actually give you a PR for some time. One of my nationalities is Italian. Being an Italian, I can actually get 2 working holidays, which are basically 2 years of work visa. Some countries are not so fortunate, and some countries have like a lot of restrictions. If you are an immigrant, I would say bring some prior experience or be very lucky. I wouldn't be like certain that I would get a job even if I had prior experience, which I did.
Yeah, so I'm not Canadian. I'm from the United States.
Yeah,
Yep. So I'm not a Canadian citizen. So yes, it is harder to find a job if you're not Canadian, because especially in the junior level, which I was coming in, a lot of people coming out of school are coming in as a junior. A lot of companies won't sponsor you. It's just very rare that they will, because it costs a lot of money for them, and it's legal stuff, and it's immigration, and it's a bit messy. So a lot of companies won't do that with juniors. So there's a couple different ways that you can find pathway. For me, it was I had already been coming to school here, and I had a bunch of points in the PR system. So that's something that you can do, is like getting a work permit, and you might not get the job you want, but you can start to work in a field that can get you points towards Canada's permanent residence portal. And then once you have enough points in that portal, you can apply.
What are the well-known game company in Canada?
There's a couple. I mean, I think there's Ubisoft in Montreal.
The biggest one in Canada actually will probably be EA Games, Skybox Games, Blackbird Interactive.
Behavior, we have Next Level Games.
CD Projekt Red, so they're well known for The Witcher and Cyberpunk.
IGG, which is like a huge mobile company. Archact, which is the place I was working with, they're actually like a huge VR company. As a tip, if you are an artist, one thing I would say is Canada's industry seems to be like way more focused on realistic art. I personally was more specialized on stylized art. That was kind of difficult for me.
What do you think about the recent state of the gaming industry in Vancouver?
Right now, it's just a hard time, and I have high hopes that it's going to be better soon.
I think in general, with how bad the gaming industry has been for work at the moment, when I look on LinkedIn, there's a lot of positions, but they're all for more senior roles, because a lot of companies are trying to hire all the people that are getting laid off, because these are people that have a lot of experience. People who are entry level have to compete with, which is very challenging.
The recent state is, and this is sort of across the board, not just in Canada and Vancouver, and the States as well. It's tough. There's been a lot of layoffs at really big companies. So there's a lot of really talented people right now who don't have jobs. So the state of the industry is, while companies are, succeeding and making great games, they're seeing cuts to their staff, which is making the job market a little bit harder, a lot harder, because there's so much talent out there. Building a portfolio that will help you stand out from like the competition.
I think things are gonna be brighter again. They're gonna get better. It's been 5 months that I was laid off. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of more low intermediate positions coming by. I remember when I got laid off, I couldn't find even like one intermediate position.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was really, really bad. So if you get your work with games, always take that into account and always ask for good salaries, because you gotta save it.
那我感谢 Keeper Studio 的所有成员呢，接受这是一个加拿大算是游戏产业内的一些分享，然后也让我们知道更多关于加拿大的事情啊，所以特别的感谢他们，然后也终于可以知道 OK 加拿大现在的状况其实感觉全球也差不多哦。这部影片就到这里了，如果你喜欢这部影片，你就按个喜欢，那这样我就会知道 OK 下一步我可以继续采访什么 studio 或者是什么在那个 gaming industry 工作的人，这样就去分享一些游戏业内的事情。我是 Ava， 记得订阅按喜欢不喜欢，拜拜。
支持 Ava YouTube, subscribe.
The most amazing person I ever met in my whole industry experience. Follow her, subscribe, and whatever you have to do, I will always support her.
Bye.
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 Yeah, bye.